to only say bonjour.
Bonjour, hi, 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 bonjour. Montreal be my city, no of a poutine, a bad biddies, those orange tulips and small meats. In abundant greenery, we really love them trees. Mixed community, code switching for the powers to be. Immigration bred beauty, but the master trying to keep us on leash. Twist legalese, propaganda flame, opportunity. Teach the people to snitch over words they see. The elegant dream. Hey yo, Valerie, a little something caught my eye. Nice of you to speak for me so kindly. The mirror's for you, we don't need to say hi. She said the English isn't appreciated by minds. She spoke with authority, we know she lied. Stick to the bike path before we vote you out like vibe. This a wide world in a spicy time. I tell them where I'm from, like bonjour, hi, 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 bonjour, hi. Black man, let me spark a light. New battle, same fight. Different languages, unite, spread love. Let's start saying bonjour, hi, how you doing? What's your name? Mine is J.S. I'm fluent when I speak French, yes.
What do you think a plant is?
Valerie, plant to the seed with a mission to divide through the map you'll see. Speak to me French, I can understand you. Speak to your English, you understand me. We both make money, so tell me what's the beef. Quebec got us feeling like we some enemies. The oppressor tells bold lies. Read between the lines, you can see the slave vibes. Bonjour, hi, 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 bonjour, hi,
Basics.
bonjour, hi,
HSR.
bonjour, hi, bonjour, hi, bonjour, hi, bonjour, hi, bonjour, hi, bonjour,
It's Montreal, home of the most beautiful women on earth. Put you in the mood, plus the food is so diverse. So many sights to see, yeah, your eyes might hurt. But there's a hidden division, listen where it diverge. Two languages in a constant battle, it seems. Need a microscope to see the stitches and the seams. In the macro view, we should be focused on the green powers that be in between us and the larger industries. What we need is new seeds like Farine, 5 roses. New ways of thinking that the common man won't oppose. Then we can make some changes that will benefit us all. One hand watches the other hand, let's get it on. The go complains when the you say cool, but why? Being multilingual is a superpower you should try before the presence of our future goes bonjour bye. We should reconsider the picture of bonjour hi.
Elle veut parler pour nous. Elle veut parler pour nous. Elle veut parler pour nous. On est tanné pour nous. Où c'est que t'as grandi? Une mairesse qui vient pas d'ici déjà c'est senti. J't'ai parlé, j'l'ai ressenti. Ce sont en poste que j'ai sous web, je l'ai retranscrit. L'amour, le love, j'suis pour both. Valérie, concentre-toi sur la ville, elle est toute glauque. Mes lignes, ils ont déjà toutes quotes. J't'aborde de me présenter à la mairie en fur coat. Riri, en d'autres mots, réfléchis. La confrontation, c'est pas la bonne stratégie. Le français, c'est demi comme ça. De l'anglais dans mes bars, j'en ai mis comme ça. Bonjour, hola, konnichiwa. J'suis la version portugaise de retour au bercail. J'marche dans ma vie, j'vois des failles. Nevermind, les moves, on va les faire, oh non. Elle veut parler pour nous. Elle veut parler pour nous. Elle veut parler pour nous. On est tanné pour nous.
bonjour, hi, 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 bonjour, hi. It's probably good to take the hours to smell some flowers. It's probably good to take the hours to smell some flowers. Hey, yo, we motherfucking winning. Feel the air in my lungs and my life is given. This moment, I'ma focus on existing. Feel the blood pumping, notice how skin is tingling. There's some friction from my shirt as my body's moving jerked by the train as it lurches, moving forward on.
What's up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Perspectives, of another movie review breakdown. Well, I guess in this case it's two movies that we'll be reviewing and comparing against each other. It is the original Oldboy from 2003, and we're going to be comparing it against the Oldboy that came out in 2013, the Hollywood remake. So we got 2 films here,
Word.
1 legacy. My name is Holden Stefan Roy. Joining me is Liddy Bro Flacco as always.
Lady, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna just talk about these movies today. Definitely appreciate all of you watching this in the future who do not join us live. We are currently doing this on Thursdays, but we are regularly live Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. What's up, Sessions? Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, so we're regularly live then, and then we trying to do a second stream, but you're just gonna have to watch for it. We can't promise the when's life happens and all that. But yeah, good
His name reads to me. His name reads C Sessions, but
but yeah,
it's a S. It's because the
yeah,
C is capitalized, but it's
yeah,
one of those like depth perception things,
yeah.
like C Sessions. No, S Sessions, but
S Sessions. But
it's
yeah,
C
it's good to have him
Sessions.
here. Yeah, I believe he worked with
Sessions.
Sarah Connor at one point, or he was connected to Sarah Connor through the whole crypto music worlds at one point or another.
Wait, is this
Yeah,
Sessions?
yeah, that dude. It's the same dude, like the one that she was tapped into.
That's I'm I know Sessions. Like that's one of Sarah's old friends that she introduced me to back in the days. He's
Oh, say word.
a great rapper as well.
Yeah.
If it's the same session,
Yeah, we were like out there freestyling in VR with him a couple years back. He's still alive. Like if you're all seeing this, you'll follow him on Twitch. He still goes live. He still does his thing, and this man is one of the definitions of consistency that I've encountered in this online
yeah,
sphere
nah.
of world.
Session is like a businessman, bro. Like he's not no
Yeah, I fuck with him.
play. He's not no play motherfucker.
Like Chris to this day brags about getting tipped in crypto because of some stuff that Session set up one time.
Oh, word. That's not a unbelievable story. Like that, I know wild people that have benefited from meeting this man once type shit. Also, Session, didn't you like run uh like a bunch of models? Like weren't you like managing a bunch of models at one point that were like doing videos for um like real known rappers or something like that? I forget. That, um but yeah, Sessions is cool dude, great rapper, fantastic rapper.
Yeah. Nah, it's a blessing to have connected. That being said, for Oldboy, I guess we can get into it. I've never seen the movies before last week, and then this week, I was just like, I'm aware of Oldboy's legacy, right? Because I was of the age when motherfuckers would smoke weed and talk about
You
Oldboy.
said that you said first off, this came about when we were reviewing um Usual Suspects. I was naming the greatest plot twist movies ever made. And we mentioned 4 American movies, which were like um, Usual Suspects, Sixth Sense, um, and you named The Crying Game and something else or something like that.
I actually don't remember, but I know
And
you're
then
talking
you
about,
said
but don't
that
remember.
The Crying Game or something like that was like uh, he ended up being a her or something like that. And
I think that
so
was one of the other people, but yes, because we had other guests on
word,
that episode.
Owen might have been the one that
Yeah,
mentioned this. And so when he said that, that triggered the thought of Old Boy to me, and I was like, wait, have you ever seen Old Boy? And you were like, no, and I was like, what? But you were like that you know of it because when you used to work at the video rental place
yeah,
that you worked at when you were in your teenage years or college years or something
yeah.
like that,
College years. Yeah, 18 to
college
20.
years, you worked at a video rental place and you said that this was a very popular movie with people and you were very well aware of its popularity, but you just never watched it.
Yeah, it never came about. Yeah, but
and now it
I
came
definitely
about.
it did come about all this time later. It's like you can't escape certain things. Like, you know, like those people who are like, I've gone my whole life and I've never watched this. I mean, you say that, but you don't know when the day will come when somebody will make you watch Game of Thrones or whatever the fuck you're boycotting. You don't know.
Right.
um, um,
People got me to watch The Wire, even though I refused for wild years. But
I like The
they
Wire.
got me. I know you did. Everybody did. White people love that show.
Can't help it. It's just it's such an interesting show. It's it's like it was. But I'm a sucker for almost everything HBO does of that era. Like there's very little they created in that time frame up until like 2008 or
My
9 when
favorite
this.
shit that they created in that era was Oz.
Ah, this is very good. Also, 6 Feet Under. I
I liked
really like Six
Oz
Feet
more than I
Under.
like Sopranos. Um,
Sopranos has some mid in it. It's
they
good,
had a lot of mid, but people
but
just
it's
hyped it so much that it was like people fantasized the good parts and forgot, caught amnesia when it came to the bad parts.
yeah. Oz
And
is
it's just like,
consistent. Oz
what?
is top
Oz was
tier.
consistently like a 7 or 8 out of 10 show. Like
Yeah, I agree.
if we're making it a within 5 star, it was like it averaged a 4 stars per episode. Like it was really well written, really well done.
And it was like one of their
Not so many
first
plot
shows
holes.
too. I think it came before The Sopranos.
No, I think
Like
it
it's,
came after.
I think,
Let's look it up.
yeah, yeah. Oz is 97 and The Sopranos is 99.
Well,
Yeah, Oz
97
97 and Sopranos is
and
99.
Sopranos 99. Yeah, it did come out first. I
Because
don't know
like
why
I
I got it
think
in my head
Sex and the
that it came out
City
after.
is maybe the only one. Like Sex and the City and Oz are like the OGs. I really like Sex and the City. That show is extremely well written.
My wife watches the spinoff now. She's always
Does she
watched
like
Sex and the
it?
City, and she watches the spinoff. I mean, she doesn't love
Like we
it,
hate
but
watch it.
she does watch it. She does watch it. She
It's more
does
of like a
watch it.
hate watch experience on our side. Like we just hate watch it because it's not good, but you can't help but keep watching. But yeah. So all that to say, I never watched Oldboy. I was aware of it. Now I've watched Oldboy, with the subtitles and all that. Yo, it's Oldboy. The original is a confusing fucking like. If you're not at all accustomed to any of this, the style choices, the way they cut a lot, like there's a lot of cuts. Just shit, just it's jarring almost at first when you're watching the story play out. I dead ass had to go to Reddit a couple of times to be like, what the fuck is going on? Because I was like, I don't have time to watch this movie 3 times and figure it out. I had to rewind it a whole lot. I kept missing shit and just run it back. And the only it's crazy. The only place they streamed it was fucking CTV, random Canadian network. It's not on any of the streaming platforms in Canada. And I'm like, I don't
It's not
understand.
on any of the streaming platforms in America either. I had to go to a bootleg website to watch both of them.
I got legal on one of them, but I definitely had to bootleg the 2013, and I was like, I don't want to spend $5. I was sitting there feeling expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so like it was definitely like, but you know, I watched it. I was like wild confused at first, and then you watch. I started reading Reddit debates, and I'm like, damn, Oldboy has this crazy twist, and then you watch like I watched the new one, and I was like, damn, this is sanitized as fuck. It's so much easier to follow, but it's so sanitized. Like
Yes.
they really like the whole ending is just like it's like fun. It's like good up until the ending where you're like, oh, they don't believe the Western audience can handle him choosing to be with his daughter, possibly.
Right. Right.
That's,
I mean, let's get to it, right? Because you just gave away the ending. Let's get
I
to
mean, I'm
what.
pretty sure everybody watching this has seen the ending.
So that's the whole point of this, right? Is we were talking about twist endings. First off, how do you compare this twist ending versus Usual Suspects twist ending?
I think they're equal in quality, but like it's comparing like I don't know, an Italian sandwich from the deli to like a steak dinner or something. Like they're just very different experiences in what they do. Like The Usual Suspects is so suave and like you're just like you like it was all like there, but like you could figure it out. But like Oldboy is just a jarring twist, and I don't know. Maybe I didn't see it all, but it doesn't feel like there's a whole bunch of clues for you to follow and like lead up to it and predict what's happening. It's more just like this jarring twist that they shove down your throat, and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? And it's so fast and it just slaps you. And maybe I'm wrong, and if you watch it like 5 times, there's a bunch of foreshadowing to allude that this is his daughter and stuff. But to me, the whole plot felt like a jarring experience, whereas Usual Suspects was more of a like a whodunit where you're supposed to figure it out on your own. So like they're good, but they're very different twists. Is my general takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that right, like I said, I do think that like Old Boy goes up there with Usual Suspects as like one of the greatest twists. Like I didn't see that shit coming, and when I first watched it the first time and it happened, I was like, what the fuck?
Like
I was
that's
like,
there's no other
what the
reaction to that.
fuck?
They just it's out of
What?
nowhere.
This is
They
shocking.
shove it down your
Yes,
throat. And
yes.
so in that regard, brilliant. And the fact that you have no way of knowing this or seeing it coming, and the fact that he went there with it, and then the way they end it, that shit was crazy. Just leaving it ambiguous like that, I don't know. I really thought that was a good ending. Because, yeah, it has the same level of ambiguity at the end of what's actually happening. Like, did the hypnosis work? Did the hypnosis not work? That's the whole other thing. With no hypnosis or anything, the ending of, like, the 2013 Old Boy just feels flat. Just is like, all right.
Yeah, without the same ending as the Korean version, it's like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, what are we here
Like,
for?
why did I watch some incest for nothing?
Yeah,
And what's crazy is in the Korean version, it isn't even incest that happens, right? It's all rumors and shit, right? So like it alludes that something could have happened, but like it doesn't say that she got pregnant. It was more that everyone was
nah,
convinced.
they definitely, um, right? Like, uh,
Well, they like say that he caught them before they did
because he
something.
says, he says, um, me and my sister knew what we were doing and we loved each other anyway, despite it, you know?
Right.
So they knew what the fuck they were doing. Like, they knew that they were fucking brother fucking, sister fucking,
I don't
sibling
know.
fucking,
And then
which is
it's about like
crazy.
the rumors, and there's so much emphasis on like him having a big mouth, right? Like it's such a key like
Yeah.
thing where like it's really like it's almost like there's a moral of the story baked into the like it's a weird moral, but like your gossip is worse than incest is I guess the point. I don't know. I can't. Saying it out loud sounds ridiculous, but like it kind of feels like he's driving home that he's so like justified over this, and like he talks so much shit, and there was real consequences, and he had to suffer. Oh, it's so weird locking somebody in a room for 15 years with a TV, and that's it. And you're just like, and
Yeah.
then arbitrarily, like, just as he's about to escape, oh, now I'm gonna let you out, and here's some money. Like, what a mind fuck.
Mind fuck. Mind
And
fuck.
then,
That's
yeah,
why I like Old Boy so much. And when we were talking about twist endings and talking about Usual Suspects, that's why like that came to mind because it was like, yo, there was a lot of mind fucking shit going on in that movie that is just like, what? Hold
or
on.
how rapey this dating is. I know that might just be part of how South Korean culture is, and I don't want to be like beating an old horse of criticizing 2003 rapiness in South Korea. But that shit also caught me off guard. I just wasn't expecting. He bust into the bathroom and like I don't know. It just felt so aggressive and like antisocial
Yes,
and
for
weird.
sure.
And
No,
again,
I
I
think
know.
that's just. I don't think that's Korean. I think that's like. I think that's like talking about what a mentally unhinged former
Mm,
alcoholic deadbeat would react like when being put in, because that's the other thing that you got to understand, right? Like, this is what 15 years in a room by yourself. Like, that is solitary confinement. That is literally what
right.
people go crazy about in jail, right? Like, you're not meant to be confined by yourself as a human being. Even when you're in jail and you're being confined and put behind bars, they're like, we'll put you behind bars, but we'll still give you time to get some sun in your day, and we'll still give you 3 square meals a day. And we'll, there's certain, and you can interact with other human beings to a certain degree, even though you might have murdered, raped,
Right.
robbed, stolen, even you might have done all that, but what we won't do is take away 3 square meals, a bed to lay in, people to interact with. You might be put in solitary confinement, but even that will only last but so long. We're gonna give you time, even when you're like on death row. Those guys even get time in the yard by themselves, and they get to be in a block of prison cells with other death row
Right.
inmates. So yeah, you're not always allowed to interact completely, but you're not completely devoid of people being around you. So it's just like even the worst of the worst gets more than what he got. So he gets this solitary confinement, which can be mind shattering for 15 years. And so what he's going to act like when he's around a woman is a guy that busts into a bathroom and fucking starts dry humping his daughter that he doesn't know is his daughter.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then she's like, when the time comes, even if I say no, take it anyway. And I'm just like,
That shit was crazy. That shit was
right?
crazy.
That's what I
Like,
was trying to say.
what?
Like, I don't
I
want
was
to be
like,
too
what?
critical. Because, yo, as I was
What?
working at the video store, some shit was popping off in video game land and stuff where some of that culture got real rapey. And then they got heavily
Yes.
criticized. And now, like, 20 something years has gone by. So I don't want to, like, be beating a dead horse. But watching that shit in 2025 was like, what in the holy hell incel shit is this?
I mean, listen, I have a couple thoughts that I wrote down. It's literally just a couple. Like, because it's mostly like, what type of movie? But like, first thing, they sue the character this movie revolves around was always a fucking scumbag. Like, it
Facts.
opens up with him being a fucking scumbag. Like, this dude is a super scumbag. Um, in the American version, even that I felt was toned down some. Like, he's not as much of a scumbag as Daesu. Daesu was in the jail acting a fucking fool to the police. You know what I mean? In the American version, they don't do that. Like, there's
Nah, he's
no,
just like, I'm trying to fuck your wife while my wife's over here type shit.
which is also crazy. Uh, um, uh, that actor who passed away, he was in John Wick. Um,
Hmm.
that actor slapped the shit out of fucking uh the main character in the American version. I
Yo, the
forget
main
the
character
name.
just reminded me of John Cena light the whole time I
Oh
was
no,
looking
the
at his
main
face.
character is he's super famous. That's fucking
I
I'm gonna
know.
look up his name now, but he's Thanos in the Avengers movies.
I feel that, but like in this movie, I just couldn't
Josh
not see.
Brolin.
I could not
Josh
not see
Brolin.
John Cena the whole time. the whole time I was
Josh
looking at his
Brolin.
face.
Josh Brolin. And Elizabeth Olsen. So Thanos and Scarlet Witch and Nick Fury are all a part of this movie, which is probably when they first got together before they started doing Marvel movies. Which I tell people all the time, that's how usually shit like that ends up happening. Like one of them gets dragged into a thing. I'm pretty sure it was Samuel L. Jackson that got dragged into Marvel first because he was at the end credit scene of the very first Iron Man movie, which is like
Right.
the beginning of Marvel Cinematic Universe before they even had a cinematic universe. So I'm pretty sure he brought in Elizabeth Olsen, Josh Brolin. Um,
But yeah.
anyway, the point
I
is
think
that
Josh Brolin did a good job, but you're right. It was completely toned down.
super toned down, super not the same thing. Anyway, Daesu is a fucking scumbag. Um, then I wonder if there's a correlation between the suicidal man when he got released and he's on the rooftop, the suicidal man who is holding a dog, and Daesu being a dog at the end of the movie for the dude that was torturing him. Like, I wonder if there's some sort of correlation between the two. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a deeper message about like man's best friend, or we're all the beast thing that they kept on going back to? You know what I mean? Like, doesn't even a beast deserve to be loved? I think that was the quote, right? Something like that.
Right.
And then when he gets out and goes to the sushi place, Mito says, "Oh, you're the only person that watched my show. They said it did bad with ratings." That made me wonder: did Lee Woo Jin fund her TV show just so that he could broadcast it to Daesu? What the fuck? That is diabolical as fuck, bro.
I mean, that's kind of what the American version just did more flagrantly. I think that
Right.
it was more. But that's the thing, is that's what I liked about the South Korean one, is that like there's all this like it's more implied shit. You know, it's less hold your
Implied.
hand and walk
Yes.
your way through it. Because like I mean, when you're saying it now, I remember the line, but I didn't even really catch it when it happened. So it's like this thing where when you would watch it multiple times, you would start to like put these things together, and I guess it makes you work a little bit. And I prefer that, because it does make for better debate and conversation. And you know, half of media isn't just the consumption of it, it's the conversation after. But yeah, so I definitely think that he probably did that, because that's the type of fuckery
Yeah.
that was going on. Because yo, it was so engineered
Lee
that
Woo
he
Jin,
had,
Lee Woo Jin is diabolical, bro. Diabolical. Which is like, yo. Also, the other thing that had me was like, when you see when you see Lee Woo Jin at the end going through his memory of his sister dying, it's like, first of all, she committed suicide on some dramatic shit. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, it was very Korean esque. Like she's like holding on at the dam to his hand on some like still trying to be sexy shit almost. Like I feel like, what is this? Why are you trying to like be sexy at a time like this? And then he let her go, bro. He let her go. So if you're upset about your sister being dead, bro, maybe you should not have let her hand go when she was trying to. How did she even get over that ridge, bro? You know what I mean? Like, what? There's so many, like, you could have saved her life at any point. It was just like, what? Why are you upset at Daesu? Don't get it twisted. Daesu is a big mouth and a bad man, a fucking scumbag piece of shit. But Lee Woo Jin also deserves more account. He needs to take more accountability.
yeah, it's a
You know what I
fact.
mean?
I mean, He's clearly like a rich kid that has a lot of or a success. I don't know. He has money clearly, if he's able to set up all of this shit. So he's clearly like that type of. Because that's the thing. That's also an interesting criticism on the 1%, right? Like that's kind of like tucked into it, which this guy's so fucking wealthy and so fucking out there,
Right.
that he can just toy with people's lives. And then keep in mind this like prison is almost like a hotel, like a private service that people can contract that other people could be using. Also that scene,
Oh, other people are using it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what's going on in this hotel? Like, I wonder what the people in the other, that's a good spin-off movie if they were to ever want to do a spin-off, is the hotel itself and what other people are in there for, Because
that would make
clearly
a good show,
other
actually.
people.
Every episode
Also,
being
yeah.
a room.
A different room?
Yeah. But like, yeah, and then that fight scene when like he's got the hammer and he just is in the hallway, and that shit was fun. Like, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of like elaborate choreography, but the way they delivered that, like, it's like also just the little line, like, I wonder if all that training is gonna work. It did. He just goes to town on them. I like, yeah. And like
this motherfucker had a knife stuck in his back. Half that fight, like, bruh, what? I was like, what? Couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me just because I'm also really good at like reaching my back. I can touch my like fingers and hold my hands on my back because I can, which most people aren't that flexible.
No, I cannot.
So, me personally, you can't stick a knife in my back and me not just unpull the knife.
But
like,
is it
I'm
better
going
to pull it out. Like, wouldn't it be better to
I
leave
don't
it
know,
in?
but I'm not fucking leaving a
It's
knife.
like if you leave it in, it's like, and you're
What?
not dead, then it's sealing the hole. You don't want to pull that out and then now you're spraying blood and shit, and you can't deal with that because you're still fighting. That's why I was like, all right.
True.
And then I like the elevator scene when he opens it up and it's like, no, and
all those guys,
and you're like, am I about to watch?
And then it opens back up, and it's like all the people die, like falling to the ground.
It's like you did. It's like you were. I was almost like, oh, are we about to watch another scene? But no.
Nah, Korean movies, Korean films are really good at doing a lot with not so much, which American movies used to be very good at. You know what I mean? Look, America is the originator of the film industry. So believe that every other film industry, whether we're talking about Bollywood or Nollywood or Korean or any, English, everybody at the end of the day is inspired in some shape or form by something American from back in the day.
Facts.
And the truth is that a lot of trails got blazed in the first 50 years of the movie industry in America. Things that other people ended up doing in different ways, but in a paying homage, ode to enter American flick here. You know what I mean? But Oldboy, the Korean version from 2003, does an amazing job at that, at like take you right to the edge and then either push you or let you go or pull you back, and then what happens with that is that you don't know what's about to happen next because you already done got either pushed off the edge or pulled back from the edge so many times that by the time you get to the end, you're like, what the fuck? Did you just push me again? And it's like, yep, pushed you. but you should have expected that. They already pushed you over the edge a couple of times
Yeah.
with this movie, you know? So
Yeah, I was definitely like, I really liked the writing. I think that's what really is. It's a lot of, it's really well written, and the subtleties. But like, I don't know. It's like the more I think about how fun it is, like even just watching him eat the dumplings, just going to place after place, and then just picturing, he's like, I ate these dumplings for 15 years. I will know these dumplings when the time comes. He's fucking puking in the streets. Like, how many dumplings did this man eat? He went to every dumpling place in the whole fucking thing just to find the guy. And I'm like, that's a crazy plot point to move it forward. It's so ridiculous, but also, what else you have, right? You just ate these dumplings. That's your only clue. And then, I don't know, even the time limit felt so arbitrary. It's like such a weird thing. And then he's like, yo, if you guess right, I'll kill myself. And I'm like, what? What the hell is going on in this movie? And then he guesses right. And then he looks like he's trying to like cop out of it at the end. He's like, nah. You promised. Now you got to live up to your shit, which is not how it went in the American version. American version, he just honored it right away. But I like that. Like, he almost backed out of doing it and he was ready to walk away because he broke Dayson and like he was just done. And he just at the last minute remembered. And I really like that. Like, all these little twists and stuff. Yeah, the American version was just kind of weird. Like, it felt like very similar, and it was going on.
there were things that I appreciated deeply about the American version. First off, right? Because I don't want to. I mean, I didn't get to. That's one thing that I didn't get to do before this. I wanted to look up videos on Spike Lee talking about why he redid this movie. Like, I'm curious because Spike Lee doesn't really redo movies. I'm looking it up now. See if ChatGPT has a good answer. The background on why he did it. Hollywood remake rights. Before Spike Lee got involved, Steven Spielberg and Will Smith were both attached to an Oldboy remake in the late 2000s, but it never materialized. The rights eventually landed with producers who wanted an American version, and they approached Spike Lee. Creative challenges. Spike Lee has said he was intrigued by the story's dark themes, revenge, trauma, and redemption, and wanted to explore them in his own way. He called his version a reinterpretation rather than a strict remake, since it was based on both the original Korean film and the Japanese manga that inspired it. Right, because this is actually based off the manga, and the manga automatically makes it a Japanese. A manga is a Japanese comic book. Studio push versus Spike's vision. Reports suggest Lee's cut of the film was heavily re-edited by the studio film district. Lee even distanced himself from the released version by crediting it as a Spike Lee film instead of his usual a Spike Lee joint. That's interesting. I'm very well aware of like a Spike Lee joint being like when he like does a movie originally. I just figured because it was a remake, that's why it was a Spike Lee film. Why it didn't land. Critics and audiences felt the remake lacked the originality and impact of Park Chan-wook's film. Many saw it as an unnecessary since the Korean Oldboy was already considered a masterpiece. So in short, Spike Lee remade Oldboy because the rights holders wanted an American version and he saw a creative potential in reinterpreting it. But studio interference in comparisons to the original kept it from fully being his vision.
Right, because it felt like it felt so clean. Like, also, like, the whole
Right,
incest
and
part
that
was
that
like,
is studio, I think, and that's what I was gonna say, right? Like, I want to be specific, because like I'm a huge Spike Lee fan, man. Like, I don't give him enough credit, but like, or I feel like he doesn't get enough credit, but like, I feel like the way that people revere Quentin Tarantino is the way that Spike Lee should be revered. he does the same exact things. Like he writes original screenplays and stories and directs original movies. Um, and so there are a lot of things that I really enjoyed about his version. I enjoyed the fight scene in his version as much as the old version. And I felt like it had qualities that made it distinctly his version. Um,
Yeah, I felt it was
I
shot really
just think
well.
that
It's
I
just
just
the
think that
plot
it
was
definitely was
goofy.
sanitized. It was
But
sanitized.
then, but then when you get to the incest part, right? It's all of a sudden the father's fucking everybody in the family, including the antagonist dude, like which they heavily imply at the end that he was just like he walks in, he's like starts unzipping his pants, and he gets shot with a shotgun and shit. I was just like, damn, that whole part just felt so like over the top. Like there was like a subtlety
Right.
to the way it was approached in the original Oldboy, where yes, it was incestuous, but you know, it was like two teenagers exploring and shit. That's wild different than dad's fucking his daughter in like the greenhouse at the school, and then
Well, hold on. Let's not just brush incest under the
I'm not
table
okay,
like
but
that.
like, I,
Like,
but
oh, just two
there's like
teenagers
layers.
exploring.
I
Like,
look, I'm
what?
not saying it's appropriate behavior, okay, but like on a level of fuckery, it is not the same tier as dad's raping the whole family.
Yes, absolutely. Again, I think he was trying to make it his own, like the Chat GPT search explanation says on it. He was probably
Man,
trying to make it his own because Spike Lee's used to making his own movies. You know, it must have been a lot of pressure from the studios. He might have been, when you look him up, right? Like, let's look up Spike Lee's uh, films. He might have been on a low between that movie. His last movie might not have done well. And if his
right?
last movie didn't do well, then he might have been
Yeah,
in a
it was
in
before
a
that was Bad or something, some Michael Jackson movie.
nah.
Then
I have
Red
him
Hook
as
Summer.
directed. Right, Red Hook Summer is what he. Nah, you know what? I'm willing to bet you it
He did
was the
Inside
lead
Man.
up. It was the yeah. That's his movie.
I think
I
that's one of my
believe it was the
favorites.
I believe that it was the lead up because Miracle at St. Anna's is a great movie, but it did not do as well as it should have, I believe. And then Red Hook Summer probably also didn't do well. And then that leads to you being in a particular situation with the studio kind of forcing your hand to do something maybe you wouldn't want to do in order so that you could do that so that you could get, because that happens a lot with directors in Hollywood where they're like, and this happens with actors in Hollywood as well, right? Um, where they're like, Hollywood producers are like, okay, you want to make this little art house movie. Cool, no problem. First, make this blockbuster movie for us, and then we'll
Right,
give you the ability to make this little art house movie. We'll give you the chance to make your shitty little art movie that won't make any profits if you make us this movie that we feel is guaranteed to have profits. But so, I think that Miracle at St. Anna's and Red Hook Summer probably didn't do as well as it should have or could have, and that ends up leading to you being in a position where they're coming to you saying, "Hey, if you want to make Chirac, let's say, or Black Klansman, both of which came after, or The Sweet Blood of Jesus, which came after Old Boy, then you have to make Old Boy for us." You know what I mean?
right.
And I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's a lot of like uh um
Speculation.
speculation, but yeah, Miracle at St. Anna's got a 5.2 out of 10 on uh Rotten Tomatoes. No, Rotten Tomatoes has a 33% based on 121 reviewer and a weighted average of 5.2 out of 10. Um, Metacritic has a 37% score based on 31 reviews. You know, it's hard to say with these things too, because you got to remember is that like a lot of these sites weren't around when when these movies got made. So like what we're getting is
Rich. No, you're right. And then like,
a
let's just say it would take
small
a much
taste
deeper
of,
analysis
because
to really do this
I
fair.
own the Miracle at St. Anna's DVD. You know what I mean? But like I just never went and put a a, a review up. I have IMDb and I barely make reviews on there. I just don't do reviews a lot online when it comes to movies. But there's a lot of us that enjoyed it. You know what I
It's
mean? But at the
also,
same time,
but also, just given all of our conversations over the last while, years and shit, it's not exactly like the demographic who would have been the biggest supporters of Spike Lee's movies was the most jumping on the internet to leave reviews back in the day.
yeah, absolutely. No, the people, what Holden is alluding to is that white people make a lot of reviews, and white people aren't exactly going to come in droves to celebrate Spike Lee on IMDb or Rotten
Especially
Tomatoes
back
the
then.
same way that they would do for Quentin Tarantino, which
Or
they did
Seth
do,
Rogen.
right? Like when Quentin Tarantino goes look up his movies on all these sites, it's like, oh my God, gushing whiteness. This is the greatest thing ever from like fucking neck beards in fucking Podunk Shittown, USA, or Podunk Shittown, Canada, because Canada has
I
just as many
promise. The
neck
same thing's
beards
happening in New York
as.
City and Montreal, I promise.
Oh, absolutely. But the difference is that they're outnumbered in those places by people
Mm.
with taste and people with culture, people from a multicultural background, people with a lot of friends from all different ethnicities. And so once you have that, you're going to be more informed. You're not going to watch Miss Marvel and be like, why is this little Indian girl on my TV
No,
screen? Why is
I'm
she
saying that they
like
absolutely will. There's a bunch of people in both our cities that choose to live
they're
their
with
closet
they're
life.
absolutely, but what I'm saying is that those guys are outnumbered in these cities.
Yeah.
So they're not the
Yes.
majority in these cities versus
No.
Podunk Shittown in Canada and Podunk Shittown in America. They are the majority. The majority of people in Podunk Shittown are neckbeards who hate everything, only want to see white shit, and aren't
Yeah.
exactly like, you know,
I mean, I don't know. I
open
know, but
minded.
it's, but even I'm just saying, like back in the day, like I can just vividly remember a lot of conversations with my like parents and stuff where, honestly, high key, my dad was a bit racist. He didn't know he was racist, but he would use words like savage and shit to describe communities that were not like white,
Right,
and not
right.
not on purpose, but
Um,
like, so like there's a lot of separation, especially before the internet brought us together, which doesn't necessarily happen until like what 2012, 2013, when social media like really blows up. So
Jesus
everything's
Christ. So I'm not wrong. I'm definitely right. Sorry to cut you off. Miracle at St. Anna's budget was $45 million. The box office tickets on that movie was 9.3 million. So it
sheesh.
lost a total of 36, 35 million, 35 point something million. And then Red Hook Summer had a box office of 338,000, which I'm sure cost them a lot more than
Like, I've
that
never heard of
to
either of
make.
those movies, to be honest. Like I just never heard of
Um,
them.
it was a small budget. It says principal photography lasted 3 weeks on a small budget, guerrilla style, like Lee's first feature film. Red Hook Summer marked the first film that Lee appeared in one of his films since Summer of Sam. Um,
So
It
basically,
was a
this is
film
Spike
festival
Lee's.
movie.
If you want to keep working for us, you're gonna have to do something we want movie.
Yes, that's what Old Boy was for sure. Because before that was Inside Man, which was a tremendous success, right? Like
That
let's
movie's
just go
like I
to
love.
let's go like it's critically acclaimed and also had a 40 to 45 to 60 million dollar budget and made at the box office 184.4 million. So just it was all good just a week ago, right? That movie came out in 2006. And then Miracle at St. Anne's came out in 2008, and then Red Hook Summer came out in 2012, and both did so badly that when he went to try to get either the Sweet Blood of Jesus or Chirac or Black Klansman made, they were like, favor for a favor, my friend. You're going to have to make this Old Boy movie that we want if we are going to sit through Chirac, a musical,
I
or
appreciate you,
Black
Sessions.
Klansman. Word,
Yeah,
word.
no, that makes
Appreciate
total
you,
sense.
Sessions.
It makes total sense. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying that Spike Lee. I mean, I'm sure his version may have just been better, but the way it ended up coming off, especially when you watch them almost back to back. I mean, I watched them a week apart, but that's basically back to back. I'm like,
Back.
you just feel like the ending is so, and then the way that he just leaves her a tape, and there's no ambiguity or anything. Like, yes, he does fuck his daughter, but then he can't handle it, and he tries his best to protect her, and he's such a loving, good dad. So it's like, all right. I mean, in his defense, he didn't know it was his daughter, and then he did the right thing, whereas Daesun did not necessarily do the right thing. Apparently, he just instead chose to. I don't even know, because the ending is so like, is the hypnosis work, and did he forget? Does he remember, and does he choose to say fuck it? Because that weird look on his face at the end, that like it's just so like you don't know what he's feeling
Right?
exactly.
Hydrate is for us to drink, no?
Yeah, I know. I was talking. I'm doing it. I got it.
Nah. Wait, what was it you said? My fault. Because then I cut you off, so now I'm
Yeah,
forgetting
because
what I was going to respond
he
to
had
what
that
you were
like
saying.
really weird smile on his face, right at the very end of it all, where
Cool.
it's like you can't. Daesun, like the main character of the
Desu.
old boy, Daesu. So that dude, if you when he's hugging his daughter at the end, either the hypnosis has worked and he's forgotten that she's the daughter, and he's just happy to be back with his love, or the hypnosis didn't work and he's saying fuck it and he's choosing to be with her. And the way he smiles at the end while holding her, it's not really clear. It's such a weird.
It's not clear. It's similar to the Usual Suspects movie of like, is it that this story
uh,
really happened, or was all of this made up because we got the board of like fucking names and bullshit? So
Because like the whole
or
thing
like
could
Inception
be a
with
hypnosis.
the spin top, right? The spin top with Inception. Um, is it this or is it that? Um, I don't know, right? Because even when directors say one way, the fans figure another way for it to be still not what they
Yeah,
are saying.
there's wild Reddit threads about the original Old Boy and the debates, and they counted the number of steps he took, and like there's the because there's the Beast, and like there's that like his split personality shit with the Beast and whatever. So it's like which one
Right.
dies, which one stays alive. Like they go so deep on it, and there was nothing about the new Old Boy. Because there's no thing to talk about. It's just he leaves a tape and he runs away and lives his life. And then you're just like, okay, thanks. Thanks for wrapping it up so neatly. It's like one of the ChatGPT recommendations for a title is like, does the new Old Boy miss the point? And I feel like it kind of missed the point. It got the plot,
Yeah, for sure.
but it missed the
I think,
point.
but again,
Or
I
the
don't
studio.
know if
The
I
studio's
don't. I was
cut.
gonna say I don't know if that's Spike Lee or if that's the studio sanitizing to the point that by the time it comes out, Spike Lee's already walking away like, "Yo, this is a Spike Lee film, not a Spike Lee joint. This is not one of my things. Do not attach this to my name like that." even though it is attached to his name like that, you know?
Yeah, you can't.
Yes, Sessions. It definitely leaves it to the imagination versus Spike Lee's version or Spike Lee's film that the studio put out is more neatly wrapped up, I guess you could say, neatly um
Yeah,
wrapped up.
yeah. It just was a kind of, I don't know. Like I would say, Oldboy 2003. I understand the hype. Like I totally get where it's coming from, and it's actually a movie.
How do you grade it?
Yo, I would say it's a 5 on 5. It's like
5 out of 5. It's a great
I
movie.
I don't know what's wrong with it. Like when you really think about it,
Nah,
there's no
I
flaws. There's
enjoyed the
nothing to
original.
criticize. Anything might be like South Korean culture shit, but that's a ridiculous thing for me to criticize. Ridiculous. Like I don't
Right.
understand. So instead, it's just like a really great film that if you take the time to watch it, you are like as you said pushed and pulled, and there's so much fucking weird shit to think about after, and I think it achieves what movies are supposed to be, these masterful storytelling experiences that leave you with something to feel after. And Marvel does that too in a whole different way, but on the other end of the
Hmm.
spectrum, this is like exactly what the fuck you could want. It's like the underground hip hop of movies.
Yeah, for sure. This is we often talk about white people and the rap songs that they're like, you mean what do you mean you never heard Dance with the Devil?
Like the
This
kids
is
have
the
not
dance
heard
with the
Dance with the Devil.
this is the Dance with the Devil
It
movie.
is.
For
I
sure.
guarantee you, my exposure to it was the same people bumping that movie or watching that movie were bumping that song. But yeah, the kids do not know it because I'd be like,
Kids do
sometimes when
not
I'm
know.
Ubering, podcasting comes up and I'm like, you ever heard of Immortal Technique? And they're like, no, I have not. And I'm like, old people care. And they're like, okay, cool. You talk to
We
some
got
guy in
Sessions
Harlem.
laughing. Yeah, no, I mean, but again, it depends on who you talk to, right? You talk to a certain age demographic, and Immortal Technique is like,
Oh, yeah, I know.
yo,
Wild
people
cred.
put him up there. People put him up there with like names like people replace names like Biggie, Jay Z, and Nas with names like MF Doom, Immortal Technique, and Eminem, or because they're usually white people. So these are the names that they'll
Yeah, white
use. But
people
the point that
really
I'm
do
trying to
love
make,
MF Doom. Yo, MF
white
Doom
people really
albums.
do love
You
MF
want to get
Doom.
clicks? We do an MF Doom album.
Word, we should review an MF Doom album. Let's see what's coming up. Let's see what anniversaries.
I don't know.
I was just watching because Little C's just finished. Memphis Bleak has a show. Hold on, what was it that I was first supposed to go?
We're looking up MF
MF
Doom.
Doom. MF Doom. Right. So let me go to his discography. So Noriega, Capone Nori, um why is it that his selected discography? This is so weird.
Cause he
His
has like fucking
selected
6
discography.
names and shit, right? Like,
Right, right, right.
I think the only one that's lining up is the Mouse and the Mask, Danger Mouse, and anyway, that one's
The
one of the
Mouse
more
and the
popular.
Mask, 20 years old. Yeah, turning
Yeah,
20 years old.
that one's good though.
Um,
People requested that shit back in the
yeah,
day.
Danger Mouse is a huge name. But so we'll figure out what we're gonna review. Um,
I mean, it's out in October, so we could just do it when it comes out. Like, we could just do it in October.
White people
Love that shit.
love MF Doom. They love Immortal Technique. They love Eminem. So these are names that I could picture
I will
white
say
people.
I'm watching white people fall off of Eminem a lot. Like he's been losing white people over the last
Young
while.
white people.
Not just
Young
that.
white
I'm
people.
tapped into old white
And
people.
old white people also, like, when it came to politics, started letting go of Eminem, you know?
His
But
last
even
album
then,
didn't really do it for anyone. Like he dropped the
yeah,
album and nobody really cared. I'm just saying, I think older white people are starting to lose. Like, they'll always love the old shit, but I think older white people just like Eminem till like 2005, and then they don't really bump a lot of his newer music. And I don't know. I could be wrong. I know there's his stands, but
I'm looking up his discography by album sales. Um, I mean, it's hard to say though because it's like, yo, he still made so much money. Recovery did 21 million.
it's crazy.
Crazy. Marshall Mathers LP 2 did 15 million. Revival did 5 million. Kamikaze did 6 million. Music to be Murdered by did 4 million. So it definitely did his worst, but that still did great, like by today's standards.
Yes, but Death of Slim Shady did not sell very well. I mean, I'm just looking at
Okay, what
Wikipedia
what did
fast.
Death of Slim Shady do?
That's the 2024 album, but according to um, Wiki, it's like under a mil. Yeah, 281 in the States and 100,000 UK. It doesn't even register in Canada. Like, I don't think Death of Slim Shady did well. Like I don't know, that Houdini song came out, and it just felt like, well, like, look, even Music to Be Murdered by, I got really attacked on that review because I did not like Part B. I thought Part A was pretty solid. I thought he did some really creative shit on Part A, but Part B was like just rapidy shit, and like I was just not in a headspace to listen to Eminem rap at me for 6 minutes and shit. So like people were really defending that, but then I don't know. I listened to the last album, and I literally couldn't tell you any. I can't remember any of it. None of it stuck with me except the Houdini shit because it was kind of like around for a bit, but I didn't even push it. I don't
I
even know how
mean,
many
it was a
singles
number
came out.
one. It was a number one album, but it didn't break a million.
Right? Like, I'm just saying,
So
I
yeah.
think that the
Nah, I
mystique
mean,
of it
listen,
is
this
fading.
this is a thing. This is a thing. This happened to Nas. I was telling people, like, if you go look at Nas's discography before his recent releases, so like before all these albums that he did with Hit Boy, um, Nas's discography was like on a steady decline after Stillmatic. Like every album sold less and less and less and less. Sessions asked, "Is
Now,
that the
Rap
Rap
God
God
is
one?"
Marshall Mathers LP2 in 2013. So, and that album, yo, listen, I like that album for a lot of nostalgic reasons, but objectively, it's a kind of, that's when he really starts to rely on samples and nostalgia tracks, and it just starts getting cheesier and cheesier if you really objectively look at what he used to do versus what he started doing. Like, half that album feels like Rick Rubin production with like just fucking rock samples and old songs for cooks. Like, I don't know, like, I don't really love that trend, to be honest. And it's not the way they do it now. Like, the way they used to do it was kind of lit, but now it just feels like sometimes that I'm blue, da 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 song comes on, like that new one, and it's just like, this is the shittiest fucking remix cover. I think it's BB Ray. It's like the shittiest fucking remix I ever heard in my life. It just feels lazy. The way it, like, and the way Eminem does it, it just feels lazy. And I don't really appreciate a lot of it. Yeah, anyway, not that this is an Eminem review. But anyway, I just think
Uh,
that overall,
Immortal Techniques, "Dance with the Devil" is the
oh boy,
song equivalent of "Old Boy" the movie, the original 2003 Korean version.
facts.
Um,
Yeah, Old Boy is a good movie. Definitely watch it. And it aged pretty well, to be honest, as far as the kind of movie. I think those minimalist budgets tend to age better than big budget efforts because big budget efforts rely on quote unquote modern tech of the time, which is, you just got to watch all the CGI of the 2000s to see how that feels today. But the minimalist budgets, they're just using real filming. I don't even think they used a lot of special effects in Old Boy. It was a lot of practical effects. And that translates so well to watching it this many years later and being able to just really enjoy it.
Session said everyone does that. They relive all that shit, like Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, etc. I'm not against. I'm not against anything being remade. I want to be specific, right? Like Hollywood, people say that, oh, Hollywood ran out of ideas. That's people. That's kind of like the people that say hip hop is dead. At the point when Nas came out with the album called Hip Hop is Dead, and when things were kind of like in a changing fluctuation state of being, I think that people that were frustrated that wanted an old thing were like, hip hop is dead. As you look at it at that time, we had Kanye doing 808s and Heartbreak, and then Kid Cudi and Drake coming on the scene with new sounds. And I enjoyed that era so much. I love that era. Um, and so I feel like uh, movies are the same thing, where sometimes people, right, are like, oh, Hollywood's running out of ideas, but it's like they're not. They're really not. It's just that the art house movies, the indie flicks, aren't the big budget movies. You know, if you stop watching big budget movies and paying attention to what Hollywood is putting on trailers and you just watch indie flicks, you'll feel like, oh, Hollywood is bursting with
Yeah, dead
originality.
ass. One time early on in our world, I made some comment about how TV's boring, and you were like, "You're not watching the right shows." And then I
It's
thought
true.
deeply about
That's all
that,
it
and
is.
then I started watching more shows, and I was like, "Flacco's right. There are actually a lot of really good shit being written."
Yeah,
But I will say,
most times.
Hollywood is, and the global movie economy as a whole has changed drastically. I don't know it from the perspective of a moviegoer, but a lot of the podcasts I listen to do talk about it regularly because it's related to tariffs and other shit like Netflix and stocks and whatnot. So Hollywood's always being brought up, and Hollywood is facing a crisis that it's never faced before in that it is so expensive to do anything in Hollywood that most people are just leaving the States and going to other industries and starting to fuck around with the rest of the world because it is easier to just go to Spain and work out a deal with Netflix or Hulu than to just stick with Hollywood. And like, look at Ben Stiller's recent success with whatever that fucking show is on Apple TV. But like,
Severance.
yeah, like that shit is crazy popular. And I was just listening to him doing an interview, and from his perception, it's like this is the future of shit. Like Hollywood's cool and all, but you get more freedom over in this world. It's a different game. They have money. It's not like Hollywood has to raise, like Hollywood you have to raise money and play this whole fucking game. Whereas Netflix just has fucking money and just goes, we'll pay you this for that. And then you don't even
Yeah.
know your numbers. You just know you're good if they offer you more money next time, and you know your
Right.
shit if they offer you less money the following time.
Yeah.
So as a result of it,
Uh,
I do think Hollywood is taking less risks. So when I think people say Hollywood is dead, what they mean is they are not funding risky shit in the same way that record labels, back when a single cost a couple $100,000 to payola, they would throw shit at the wall because they could afford it. And now that it's like 5-6 million to get a single out, they are not taking that risk. They are running algorithms to see if your single's a single. They are
oh
running
no,
TikTok
they're
shit.
not even running algorithms. They're just running the game, and they have X amount of streamers and social media personalities on payroll, and they get them to talk about something and to use a song, and those people that they're following that are following them immediately gravitate to those songs because their favorite
But
person
there's a
is
what I guess what
out.
I'm saying is that just to close it is that instead of trying to find interesting and new shit, they are gonna just push what they know will sell. and go in that route. And because it's
Right.
so fucking expensive now, and Hollywood is facing the same conundrum, all of their shit is so expensive to produce that you almost need to have these Marvels and these giant IPs and these nostalgia grabs, because the truth is people who love the indie films high key are also not necessarily the movie theater goers. They're probably more the smoke a joint at home on their computer streaming it on some illegal site type, if we're being 100% honest by what the internet is showing me.
Possibly.
You're not an exception. You're not a reflection of the average. You just not at all. But the average stealing that shit, stoned out their mind, watching that shit, debating on the internet, blah blah blah. I don't know how much they're really going and spending $100 to watch the random underground A24 movie in the theaters. Like, I just don't see that. Like, because, movie theaters are going through it, and they're more expensive now. Movie theaters are going more the restaurant and beer route. So they're clearly catering to...
I mean, I do think that also, to a certain degree, this all falls under the algorithm conversation as well, because people are fed. That's why certain movies make it and certain movies don't. And it's because people are fed the algorithm, the trailer for this movie in their algorithm more than they're fed the next one. And sometimes they aren't fed the algorithm trailer, and then that movie still ends up doing well. So it's kind of hard to call it. I do want to read Sessions' comments, though, because he's been commenting, and I like to always make sure. After he said everyone does that, they relive all that shit, like Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, etc. He said, but it's because people are afraid to try crazy shit with merit, because a lot of people are judgmental and cynical, but the ones who don't give a fuck sometimes blow. Agreed fully to that. Like indie video games and movies get discovered and become a cult following. Right. Exactly what we've been saying. It was a phase, yeah.
That was when
I
you were
think he
talking
was
about the
talking about the hip hop is
2000s
dead.
music. Yeah.
And and then he said, yeah, that's true. I should have actually not made that blanket statement, because people do that about music. There's good music, they just ain't searching for it. Exactly. Sessions. And then he said, really, algorithms are created anyways. 80% of the internet comments and likes are bots. I wouldn't dispute that. I'm pretty sure. But then also, people are on the internet, right?
Well, I
Like,
would
people
say that
are.
the algorithm is like a mix of, like, because the algorithm caters to human behavior, right?
It
And
does, but then also human behavior
is
caters to the
influenced by the
algorithm.
algorithm.
But
But
the
there is a
algorithm,
reciprocity to it. So, like, there's a
but
science to
the
what will work.
algorithm is. Look, a good example is me and my wife. She watches reality TV shows, and because she watches reality TV shows, I end up watching some reality TV shows. Some of them I put on my headphones and I work on my music. Some of them draw me in, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And in turn, sometimes something comes across my feed, and I'm like, hey, babe, what's this about? And she's like, I don't know. I'm not watching that. And I'm like, oh, well, we got to watch this because it's on my feed and it's a reality TV show. So it falls under your jurisdiction. So we're going to watch this on your nights of like reality TV nights. And we got into Love Island this past season, and she had already watched Love Island early on, but she had determined that it's not what she wants to be watching. And then it got so popular in the first 15 episodes of this last season in my feed, and everybody was talking about it so much, I felt obligated. I was like, what? What is this about? What are people talking about? Then we watched one episode, and it's like, I'm hooked. I want to watch the rest of this shit. Even though they have 3 episodes, 4 episodes, 5. I think they were doing 5 episodes a week of that show, which is like, bro, this is a lot in a quick amount of time.
People want to watch hot people doing things on TV in reality settings with producers.
I don't even think that it's that, because these people aren't even that hot. It's really just they had what it does break down to is the perfect. It's a little bit of everything goes right. The show is the right show. The algorithm is algorithming. The show itself, that season, that cast has a person or two or three that just meld well and are the perfect recipe for crash out TV. And people want to see people crash out. They want to see people do bad. They want to see if you go on a show or I go on a show, it's not interesting because we're too old. We're already set in our ways. We aren't gullible in certain ways. We're not gonna do certain things, right? I have character traits that make it that I'm not gonna act out. Look, we have our YouTube channel
Yeah,
that we
man. I'm
run,
just
and we constantly debate about going clickbaity,
yeah.
trying to get people to click versus just making it an accurate title that is
But
accurate to what we're talking about. And we
which if
usually
you're
end
trying to
up
make money,
at
you
a
gotta go clickbaity.
clickbaity, exactly.
I mean,
But
like, yeah. I mean, the truth is, if I was on reality television, I could not get over the fact that my mother might watch this shit, and that, like, I
right,
care.
I care. I care about the people that love me. And so the point that I'm trying to make though is that they had the perfect recipe of ingredients and they had all the messy people and this and that, and it went perfectly for them to have the algorithm, the messiness, the right show with the right people being messy. Because look, right now, there's probably the best Big Brother season in years now. But people already gave up
Can't
on
believe
Big
that
Brother.
shit's still on.
People
Yeah,
people just don't care
that's
about Big
wild.
Brother the way that they cared about Big Brother back in the days. So it doesn't matter that
And, like,
it's the right cast. Right now, it's the right cast with all sorts of spiciness and drama and craziness, but people already tuned out. So it doesn't matter. The algorithm is just not gonna cater to an old
well,
show like
also,
this.
they also, like, it's a bit random too. Like, everyone's always trying, but not everything always works. So, like, there is a degree of the algorithm is just like a responsive thing. I don't even think at this point there's a single human that understands what the algorithm does. They all tweak it and they all adjust it, but there's not like a person up top that's like, I understand the decisions the algorithm makes. Because I mean, it's very, like, when you really get into the nitty gritty of it, it's pretty AI doing a lot of shit now. It's not like humans coding shit like it used to be. It's like the AI be running the algorithm, and we just tell the AI what's good. So it's at a level where it's super sophisticated, and various platforms have different strengths and weaknesses with it. So they just kind of unleash the beast, and all they care about is making money and creating engagement. Like, every platform has a different stat they push or that they think is the hot stat. And then whatever content just generates the most of that, which ultimately is going to be, for whatever reason, this week we care about this meme. Like, some of these shits that you find out about, like, I found this random guy that just reads out the top 5 weird slang terms the 12-year-olds in his class say, and it's like they pick the randomest rap songs and pick shit like 6'1", and now 6'1's a thing. I don't even know what song it's from or whatever, but they just picked it because they're 12 and they like the way this one random gang member in a rap song said 6'1", and then there's a 4'7" or something like that, and now they in class will debate which of these numbers is bigger, and they have like a call and response. How the fuck did the algorithm know that? No, it's just these kids picked that and the algorithm said bet and launched it because it saw the flames on beginning. So I think there's a lot of humans in it, but you also have to play by the rules of the algorithm. Everything that performs does what the algorithm wants it to do. It's got a good hook. It's got a good this. It's like, it follows the rules, because you do want to make good content when there's fucking amazing shit everywhere. But
Yeah, I mean, that's the point that I'm trying to make, right? Is that it's like the perfect combination of everything. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's also things that the algorithm throws the algorithm at that don't work for us because we're just
yeah,
like, we consume it as humans and we're like, nah, this is garbage. I don't like it. I'm not going to
everyone
talk about
burns
it
that
at all.
quick. It's like
and
when your
the
video gets like
algorithm's like,
2,000
whoop.
views and then it goes flat. It's like the
The
algorithm threw
difference
shit.
is that the algorithm is not a human, so it doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't get its feelings involved because it doesn't have any feelings, you know? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Like I don't really believe anyone ever gets shadow banned. I think people just get bored of your shit.
People swear, people say things because they see other people say them online. I see people talking about shadow bans all the time. I hear people on Twitter Spaces talk about shadow bans, and they don't realize that I'm like, bro, I don't know what happened with these people. I think that like a lot of these people on Spaces just did not get like they avoided Facebook and they didn't do social media, and then they got a voice app on a voice tool on X, and we're like, oh, that's the tool that is my favorite tool on social media that I want to use. And they all ran to the internet, and they're doing the same things that people did on Facebook years ago. That I'm just like, bro, people will be like on Facebook talking about I'm going viral, and it's like, yo, you got 100 likes on a post, bro. That is not viral. Like you are sadly mistaken on what the fuck is happening here.
Yeah, but it's also like the only people I ever see talk about getting shit. Cause like, just as background, I was working for a software company as the social media dude, and we're talking about a 9-figure company at a global scale dealing with 10 separate markets. When I say markets, I mean we're talking multilingual shit. So when I'm
Right.
saying that, like, shadow banning
The market
is
in the market in China is not the same market as in America.
absolutely, like, believe it or not, like, as an example, when you do customer service in Germany and you say thank you for contacting us, they want to slap you for wasting their time. And if you don't say it in America, they want to slap you for not saying it. Anyway, my point is everything's different everywhere. And often what'll happen is you tap into like a trend and your shit's kind of growing, but then you don't evolve and adapt. You don't actually change what you're doing. You just kind of keep doing the same thing, and then you die. Because if you look at all successful creators, and you could just look at Mr. Beast's career as an example of it, although he's going broke now, but that's not the point, is they look at their past content and they cut out the shit that don't work and they add new shit in. Like, honestly, I had to learn that over 5 years very painfully with my reviews, and I took the wrong lessons. But when you create content, like, you have to keep reinventing what you do, especially if things aren't working. And then certain dynamics are going to be like
Yes.
popping and engaging to people, and other
But
shit's there. So
also,
when
I
you're
want to
getting
say
shadow
something.
banned, chances are your content hasn't changed. The algorithms just moved on from you.
Yes, but I do want to say, just in case any artistic creators are watching this and haven't come to that conclusion yet, and they're like, oh, right, and it's finally clicking for them, right? Oh, Holden said this is what Mr. Beast is doing. Holden did it himself. I should stop doing the things that are getting less engagement, and I should keep doing the things that are getting more engagement. Yeah, maybe, maybe, maybe. But Mr. Beast, like he just mentioned before that, is falling off now. You know,
Super
like
falling off.
the thing that works for one person doesn't always work for the next person. And also, feeding into what everybody likes isn't art. And that's not what art truly is. There's certain things that you do when you're making art that aren't meant for everybody to love. It's meant for you to just be artistic. And even if nobody shows up, you should still do it because it's in your heart and it's in your desire. And that will feed one person who might end up being the Tupac of another generation. And you think that it's not successful because it doesn't have big numbers, but it's not about the big numbers. It's about the quality of the numbers and what those people do after it. And you might be inspiring somebody. You know, I often talk about there's this one song that we have on Liddy Bros Volume 1 called La Mantra that does incredibly well in Russia. We recently took down Volume 1 and are re-uploading it for 9/11, but I fucked up and I just put it to like upload, like instead of on the date of 9/11, which is the 5th anniversary of the album's release, it's uploaded now. So like you can, because we couldn't share the music on social media. It was on um it was on Spotify and YouTube Music, but it wasn't on Apple Music, and it wasn't on I forgot what other platform. But the point is that um it's now back up on all those platforms, and that one song is still magically doing well in Russia. That one song where it's just like constantly, week after week, St. Petersburg, Moscow, fucking Ruski City, he insert name here. And I don't know if it's one guy, fucking group of people in Russia. I don't know if it's the skit that we have at the beginning of the song, but it does well in Russia. The point that I'm trying to get to is I don't know if those Russians might be the guys that are like the next fucking world leaders, might be the next fucking Quentin Tarantino of Russia, might be the
Right.
next, you don't know who you're inspiring with your art if you aren't making art, and if you are chasing an algorithm and a flow of what everybody's gravitating to. You're not necessarily making art, you're just chasing numbers. And if you're chasing numbers, are you really doing what you're supposed to be doing, or are you just doing a thing to do it, like Mr. Beast? You know what I mean?
Well,
So I just wanted to
do
say that.
I have an answer to that though. So I think that when it comes to creating your art, like the art part, you should definitely follow everything Flacco's saying. When it comes to marketing your art, if you're not happy with your results, take into consideration what I'm saying.
Yes,
Because I'm not saying that for your art you should compromise. Like, honestly, make the art you want to make, and if it's, you'll find your audience is a really true statement. But when it comes to marketing your art, like, bro, if your shit gets 200 views and you cannot get past that, it will be very, something has to change somewhere. Like, you guys made videos that were high quality for that whole album, and that was, I believe, your first effort at a visual album. So thus, you did something new and extra, and however it played out, now you have that happening. So it kind of even emphasizes a bit what I'm saying, that you need to pivot and do new and bigger and better things in the sense of how you promote the album.
For sure.
Plus, you guys
For
had the
sure.
crazy fucking $100 pack with, or whatever.
Yeah, no, we did a lot of things for that album. We really tried to get outside of our market and get to new fans.
So that's all I'm saying is, when you're talking about the marketing side, especially your social media posts, you just have to think about what works and what doesn't work. Otherwise, like, yeah, you could try to be as creative as you want, but at the end of the day, you're probably on social media to promote your art or to promote your whatever. And there's just, I don't know. I feel like it's not necessarily like compromise your integrity, but find a way to take your vision and polish it so that it will, like, listen, if you have to put a 3-second hook.
Because I'm also saying that in the middle of what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying, don't always go for the numbers in the algorithm, but I'm not saying don't never go for the numbers in the algorithm.
Right.
It's a balance. I
Yeah.
strongly believe in a balance of everything in life, and so you should do both.
And there's ways to be fun with it. Like, however you want to approach your art, there's ways to do it algorithmically appropriately while also staying true to your vision, no matter what your ethics and morals and what you're willing to do are. It's just a matter of finding good role models, content that you fuck with heavy, and, well, stealing the best ideas from them that you want to steal and putting it all together in your own little twist and shit. But yeah, that's kind of where I was going with all that. Anyway, we definitely have fallen off the plot a bit here.
We have fallen off the plot of it. All good.
Yeah, that's good. It's better when
I
I like it better when it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, my fault.
Um,
Oh, I was off camera. Oopsie.
Definitely went off cam.
I'm over here trying to get ready for an interview that I got to conduct at 4 o'clock.
I have a
Um,
call at 4 too.
let's wrap it up. Sessions. Anybody
Appreciate,
who is on the YouTube feed, um, we
we
appreciate you guys
appreciate
for
it.
showing up. Everybody who shows up in the future, we appreciate you for showing up in the future. Anybody who stuck around to the end of the video, to this part right here, we appreciate you very much. Um, thank you.
Yeah.
Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already.
And
Click
then
like on the video if you're this far into the video. Apparently, you must like the shit that we talk.
let's go.
Please,
And let us feel free to talk your shit in the comments. We care. We read it.
yeah,
And
we
we'll be
do.
back Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with something. I don't remember what it is, but it's something. Um, and yeah, so
Damn.
definitely tune in
Now
for
let me
that.
say it out loud because I feel like that's what obligates us.
Yeah,
Um,
we gotta like put some like, real pressure on. I mean, we're definitely back Monday at 7 because that's the regular slot, and
right,
then
that's
if
the regular slot.
possible, we'll
Coming
definitely.
up next week is it is your week, my buddy. It
Which
is
one?
it is oh no, this is September 1st. We already passed that.
Yeah. Well, whatever. What's the next week?
We okay, we did Ludacris Word of Mouth instead of Junior Mafia Faith
Yeah.
Evans. Next would have been Our Lady Peace
Mm.
Happiness is Not a Fish That You Can Catch album that you wanted us to review. Or Travis
We can.
Scott Rodeo 10th anniversary. We could do both those next week.
Yeah, I was like, cause yeah,
Oh wait,
honestly,
September 8th is Mary J. Blige My Life album review with Destiny Manifest, and I promised her.
yeah, we can do
So
that. High key,
Monday we're supposed
I
to do that.
wonder,
Monday we're supposed to do that. Thursday let's do your Our Lady Peace Happiness
cause
because
I was
that's
like,
not an
I kind of
anniversary.
think
That's
like,
just a
I think the Our Lady Peace album may pull views on some random shit because it's a lot of.
I'm not thinking it won't. I'm not trying to sweep
I'm
it under the
excited.
rug.
Yeah,
I'm
I've been
not
listening
trying
to
to
a
not do
couple
it.
of. It's so different than everything we've covered. I don't know. Our Lady Peace is such a cool band. Like I listened to a whole bunch of their shit growing up. Canadian
Word.
shit. Let's go.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I
Um.
look forward to next week then because they're both. It's two episodes in one of both of us picking because my life isn't Mary J. Blige's My Life album isn't celebrating an anniversary or
Right.
a
Right.
particular anniversary. It's just literally one of my favorite albums of all time. And then Our Lady Peace is something that you recommended. So these are both next week is Holden Flacco recommendations
Yeah.
reviews week.
Yeah. It'll be a good time. And then yeah, then we'll be back at whatever anniversary is coming next and keeping it running. And then at some point, you may even see some content when we're all together in person up in New York City later on this year.
Word, true story. We're definitely gonna link up. So
Yeah. So anyhow,
we'll try to
all
get you
that's some
guys some
good
new
stuff,
interviews out there.
and maybe some extra content because we bring in the homie Chris Crumb down for the first time, and he never been to the Big Apple before. So maybe you'll get to see some extra fun stuff that happens. Anyway, we
Hey, thank you,
appreciate
Sessions, for being here. We appreciate you.
you coming, Sessions, and everyone else. Thanks again for watching,
Sessions
everyone.
also said, "Art is doing what you love and how you express it." Agreed,
Facts.
my friend. Agreed.
So yeah, feel free to come through anytime in the future, Sessions, and anyone else, and live long and prosper, everybody out there.
Leave.